to show you how I dial in this Marshall JCM 800 tube amp of mine, coming through 4 75 watt green watt speakers linked up in parallel. It's a 300 watt cab linked in parallel. If you remember your high school physics and science. Now I'm going to show you in a moment how you dial in an amplifier. So I'm just taking the camera, which is in a holster, up to the amp now, and I've got to try and read upside down. So you've got your presence, your bass, middle, treble, master and preamp. You've got a high density and a low density input. So I'm coming straight from the guitar input into the high density control. You've got your power switch and your standby. So when you switch the amp on, you leave it for several minutes on standby to get the electrical current to flow through the valves, which are at the back here. Let's see if I can get. And they're burning nice and hot now. Amp's been on for about 15 minutes already, and I'll put the power supply on, or should I say the power amp. Now, if you can just bear with me, I have to put the phone down while I show you what I'm doing, but I'll explain to you from 1 to 10 on each control how I dial my sound in. So I've got my volume set at level 1.2. I've determined that this, for the purpose of this video, this is my natural speaking voice. It's loud enough for this 36 square meter room. I've got the preamp set at, I'll just check my notes exactly what it's set at, 6.2, because I found that this probably matches this guitar's output best. So first thing you do, you roll back the presence control, so you work from the left to the right. I'm just hitting an open E string. Now I'm taking the presence control from a 0 up to rolling it clockwise to the 10 number. Did you hear that? 6.8 as per my notes. So you heard the surge in the sound, and that's where I find it's optimal. The next, I do the bass control. I've got the bass control set at level 7. I wrote it back to 0, hitting the E string, turning it clockwise. Did you hear that surge there? That's at bass 7 of 10. The middle, which is like in between treble and bass, it fattens up the sound, especially when you're playing a Fender Stratocaster. You want to increase your middle. But for this humbucking Les Paul of mine, Gibson Les Paul, gain middle to 0. Listen to the surge now. And I've got it set at 6.9. Yep. That's where that sound surge came up. Treble down to 0. Yep. True to my notes that I made earlier, where I like the sound. 1.2 of 10. My volume I've chosen today at 1.2. Just. Preamp, I told you I've got set at 6.2. Now the preamp is the stage of the current where you're boosting the power for those electrical engineers out there, but you're boosting the power to the main power amp. So I'll turn the preamp to 0. At 0 you've got no volume, so you gathered a preamp button on an amp like this can be used to control your volume. So if you wanted to drive your power amp to the max at 10, you roll your preamp, and use it as the volume control effectively down to about 1, which I can do for you. But I'm going to bring up the preamp now, where you'll get more gain, distortion sort of sound. Hear that surge, and true to my notes, 6.2. I'll show you my notes, so if you want to, hopefully you won't get someone's bank account details off this piece of paper, but and there's my notes, which I'm going to put in my permanent file because I like this particular sound for today. Now I've shown you that the power, the valves have been powered up for about 15-20 minutes, and they're burning hot already. So now what I'm going to do is roll back, be careful here, roll back preamp to 0 and then roll master up to 10. Slowly bring the preamp up, slowly. It is effing loud. If I hit these strings, I'm going to roll back the volume of this guitar to 2 of 10. If I turn this thing up to 10, I'm going to blow my head off. And I've got the power amp at 10, the master. Just going to take it back to 1.2 where I'm safe, that I don't blow my head off. Take the preamp back to 6.8 where I like. Effects pedals used at all. Now my next job, I'm going to go through my power board, my effects board here, and find the desired colors as such. I call them colors, and I use my effects loop, where I go guitar through wah, through compression, sustain, noise suppressor using the beginning of the chain after the wah, and then mega distortion, then blues driver, then from the last distortion pedal, style pedal in your chain, you go into the FX receive, where it's receiving the distorted, that goes into the front of the amp, because you want to go through the preamp section where you drive the pedals drive the preamp to even more distortion and gain sounds. And then my FX send at the rear of that amp, I have a separate lead coming into my modulation pedals, and I'm referring to pedals like chorus, phase, flanger, tremolo, digital delays, digital reverb pedals, which is the last pedal in your modulation pedal chain, by the way, to get the best outcome. And then from that, in my case, I go through a drum machine, then a loop station, so that I can do the jams that I do on my channel. Check them out if you haven't. And then from there, I send the signal from the pedal board into the FX return. That mixes those colors into your overdriven or clean sound, whatever you chose. If you pressed one of your distortion pedals, etc. I hope you found this video interesting, because I just realized I haven't done this in about 7 or 8 years, since I almost blew my head off when I was linking up a drum machine to this pedal board, and that goes through a special circuit in this amp that gives me a 10 out of 10 if I don't depress a certain little button at the rear of the amp. And I had the drum machine at 10 of 10. I literally went flying 9 meters across this room. I will show you. I went from I was bending in front of this speaker cabinet, and I ended up with my back in that wall over there, which is about 7 or 8 meters away. So please, I don't think my hearing's ever been the same. It hit me like a powerful surf wave right across the room. I was on my hands and knees at the pedal board here as I depressed that drum machine. It threw me physically, the sound wave physically threw me across the room. So please be cautious when you work with these things, and don't let children near them unless you've taught them very well how to handle these things. But I'd urge you never to leave a child alone with this sort of gear. I'm playing through both pickups, bridge and neck pickup, at volume 4 here. Just to show you how a Les Paul cleans up. Now at 10 of 10. Just to show you. And that's at volume 1.2 of 10. No other devices used to boost the sound. Thanks to the sound engineers out there that have given me valuable feedback, and those professing to be sound engineers over the last few years. You've really helped me. And I'm doing this today because I'm about to form a group with a few friends. And I know it's been a long time coming, but it's not easy to get a couple of blokes approaching 70 years of age in the same room, because we're also very busy in our semi-retirement. But we hope to get there soon and see you all soon. But yesterday at our little jam I had with my grandson, we realized how bad our sound was. So I'm busy tweaking the sounds, and I'm going to cut some loops so that when the other guitarist and myself, sometimes I play bass, sometimes he plays bass, when we're just jamming together, we got something to play over, because sadly our drummer, who's a youngster at 40, he works 7 days a week, shifts. So it's not easy to get the 3 of us in the room. But we hope to see you anyway soon if you happen to be in our town.